All right, welcome in. I'm the Kodiak, and today I'm here to talk about what I liked and did not like about Hard Knocks with the Giants. But before I talk about that, I just want to say one thing. I know TV is scripted, but the entire first episode felt like it was making way too much of an effort to protect the Giants, and they look like absolute fools, in my opinion. And to be completely honest, I think they don't look like fools for letting Saquon Barkley go because they did spend a lot of time in that episode talking about why Saquon Barkley, moved on elsewhere. And I get it because if you're a casual NFL fan, you're probably just like, well, why did one of the worst teams in the league let one of their best players go? Meanwhile, there's probably, I don't know, the entire population, I would bet at least 98, 99% of the people who are actually tuning into Hard Knocks and going to be watching this Giants series continuously, they probably know. They probably heard all the debates. And smart football fans, they understand that the value for running backs is not that great. But I don't understand why they spent the entire first half of the episode talking about, oh, the Giants, blah blah. They couldn't keep Saquon Barkley. He's been often injured. And I just really didn't like the narrative it painted towards Saquon Barkley. And I don't know. I really don't know. But one thing that I thought was even more embarrassing to the Giants and why I really didn't like the production that HBO put out is they protected Daniel Jones so much. When Joe Shane was saying that he didn't think Patrick Mahomes could succeed behind the offensive line he built last year, then I don't know. I just really did not like that because, yes, they did not have a good offensive line last year. The Giants have probably had the worst collective group of offensive linemen since they became bad in 2017. They've probably been the least talented team in the league since then, shown by the fact that they have the most losses in the league since 2017. And honestly, I don't even think second place is close. Um, but regardless, it just painted Daniel Jones in way too good of a light. I have never seen a team make more excuses for a quarterback than the Giants did on Hard Knocks. And I've had more intelligent conversations, with people just over text or, just sitting down or even at work talking about football, and then the Giants had surrounding Saquon Barkley and Daniel Jones and, their entire contract situation because it just basically looked like to me propaganda. It looked like the Giants were trying to explain to Giants fans why they kept Daniel Jones and why they moved on from Saquon Barkley, whereas 90% of NFL fans get it. They understand. So the real reasons for why they moved on from Saquon Barkley and why they kept Daniel Jones, it was kind of a mixed bag because on one hand, they painted the truth about Saquon, and not only that, but they called him often injured. They called him, not as explosive as he used to be. And granted, they are not wrong in their evaluation. Um, but what I did not like is that they protected Daniel Jones so much. And for a guy who is confirmed a bottom five starting quarterback in this league, like clear cut, there is no way you can put him higher than 27th or 28th when you're doing your QB rankings. They went out and said that Patrick Mahomes would not have succeeded behind the offensive line they built last year. But Joe Shane, whose responsibility was it to build that offensive line? Who had two off seasons before the season last year, where you could look at the Giants roster and been like, yeah, we needed to upgrade. We needed to upgrade at the position. Granted, they tried. They tried with Evan Neal, and I will give them their flowers, pun intended, on that. I will give them their flowers on that. But I just didn't like the lack of accountability the organization took. I did not like the fact that they were shielding Daniel Jones from, public media. But ultimately, that's what organizations do. They take the heat themselves so that, well, they spread the blame elsewhere. And the mind-boggling thing to me was that Shane never said anything about him needing to be better. He did talk about how, when he's driving that he has to tune out the outside noise or whatever, and that's completely fine. I get it. I will probably never understand what it's like to be an NFL executive, even though that is my dream job. But either way, some of the other things I thought was cool because this wasn't all bad. Like, yes, I thought it was bad luck for the Giants, but I really enjoyed this episode, and I could see myself watching a lot of the content that comes out from this series, especially during the draft and free agency. I want to see what it was like when they tried to trade up with the Patriots, and I wanted to see what it's like when they finally made the call to Malik Neighbors. Um, what else was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So Dexter Lawrence, I thought they painted him in a really fun way. Uh, just him trash talking on the field. That was pretty funny. What else? Mm, honestly, there's a lot of stuff that's blanking my mind. Oh, yeah. So when they were talking about Chris Jones and how he was way too expensive a cap hit to put right next to Dexter Lawrence, and the same with Christian Wilkins, I did really, really like seeing the NFL's IT portal. Like, I don't know if that's their actual IT portal, but you could see, like, when they were clicking on it and scrolling through, and they were like, okay, free agents, guys potentially maybe available, Brian Burns, Chris Jones, and all that. That was pretty cool. But other than that, I don't know. I had mixed emotions about the first episode, but one thing can be certain, did not like how the Giants tried to save face in this episode. You don't owe anyone an explanation for anything, and honestly, it just makes it look worse on the way out for the mudslinging they did to Saquon. Again, not saying they did anything wrong by not keeping him. I definitely wouldn't have kept Saquon if I was in the Giants front office. Are you kidding me? Um, but I don't know. I just did not like the way that Shane seemed to take a lack of accountability for building a horrible offensive line and saying that Daniel Jones wouldn't succeed behind it last year, or no, saying that Patrick Mahomes wouldn't succeed behind it last year. Daniel Jones is no Patrick Mahomes. That's obvious to everybody with eyes. But yeah, I don't know. Shane can kick rocks. That was, I don't know. I don't know how to call it. But anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.